resident was reported on March 19th. So in just 1 year, we are going to have about 500,000 COVID-19 cases and over 10,000 deaths. So in Mobile County today, we're reporting on 37 cases of COVID-19 that were reported to us yesterday. That brings our cumulative number to 36,288. We learned about 9 additional deaths, bringing the death toll to 737. And just as a reminder about how deadly COVID can be in people who have underlying medical conditions, we had an individual pass away in the last couple of days who was 28 years old and had significant underlying medical conditions and died with a COVID diagnosis in the hospital. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who have had family members with severe complications and deaths related to COVID-19 and any communicable disease or accidental situation. So just remember that no matter what your age, if you have underlying medical conditions, you are at risk of severe complications up to and including death if you contract COVID-19. The cumulative number of hospitalized patients are 4,665. That's an addition of 8 since yesterday. And the number of people currently hospitalized with COVID-19 yesterday, so this was a yesterday count, was 75. That was down 10. So we are continuing to see the downward trend in the number of cases, some of the lowest case counts we have seen on a daily basis in some time going back to late August. And again, hospitalizations starting to get, moving below the 100 mark, which is great news. We've been below 100 people hospitalized on any given day for about a week now. So all good news. But remember, we still have lots of people out there who are extremely vulnerable to complications and deaths of COVID should they become infected. So that is why we continue to stress, get a vaccine as soon as one is offered to you. Wear a mask when you're out. Wash your hands. Stay at home if you're sick or if you've been exposed to COVID, as not to transmit it to others. And avoid gatherings. So stay, in open spaces with a safe distance from anyone who doesn't live with you, and certainly avoid indoor spaces to the greatest extent possible. So we talked yesterday a little bit about the new. It's been called the J&J vaccine, but it's the Janssen COVID-19 vaccine produced, I think, by J&J, Johnson & Johnson. So I just want to read a statement that was published today by CDC, who've had lots of questions about how powerful or how effective the vaccine is. There is a perception that it's not quite as good, but that's not necessarily true. So it is as highly effective against hospitalizations and deaths as the other 2 vaccines are. So the Janssen COVID-19 vaccine has high efficacy against COVID-19 associated hospitalizations and death. Persons may receive any recommended COVID-19 and are encouraged to receive the earliest vaccine available to them. So the use of all of the authorized COVID vaccines is critical in controlling the pandemic. So the Janssen COVID-19 vaccine, can be stored in a refrigerator. It's only 1 dose, so there are lots of reasons why it is more highly prized. People who travel, doctors' offices that don't have -20 or -80 freezers. You can, carry it in a cooler instead of having to transport it around in a freezer. So there are a lot of advantages to this new vaccine that's been approved. And again, the state has been allocated 40,100 doses of that vaccine. And because of some limited production, pre-authorization, that's probably all we'll get for a while. So again, please take advantage of receiving a COVID vaccine when, at the first one that's offered to you, because they are all highly effective and will help us get to that herd immunity that we need to protect our most vulnerable populations from severe complications and deaths related to COVID. So the only other thing, I'll just remind you that most locations are doing, at least our locations, all the doses we're given this week are second dose, and the hospitals have a lot of second dose vaccine events going on this week because 4 weeks ago, Alabama had that big push. The the first part of February to get a lot of vaccines out in these 8 locations. So today we had a second dose clinic that was for people who got vaccinated at our Sims location. Tomorrow we'll be at our 8 Mile Family Health location, which will be people receiving second doses from February 3rd. And on March 4th, the Citronelle Family Health location, second doses from February 4th. So those are the locations that we have this week where we're giving second doses. So if you missed that or you weren't able to jot it down, you can go to our website at mchdcares.com. The details are there. The maps are there. If we have another rain out like we did today, we will put the alternative location there and times and that sort of thing. So all of the most current updates and most current information are at mchdcares.com, or you can get the information by calling 251-410-6243, 410-MCHD. So that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Thanks for doing your part to control COVID transmission, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.